Hello, my name is Arne. I am a former Blitz champion in my chess club, which I won the Blitz championship in the 90s once, was in Elmshorn in Schleswig-Holstein. And I want to show you the fascinating world of the discombobulating Bongcloud attack. A very bold, brave, and blasphemous opening, if I may say so, which most of the best grandmasters in the current days are playing all over. Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, just to name two, and even play them in big tournaments. So I want to show you, of course, this beautiful opening, what the potential is, what the main ideas are. We start with the E4, E5 variations, which is the main line. And once upon a time, everybody thought that Puff the Magic Dragon, this one it is, after knight f6, Puff the Magic Dragon, king d3 was probably the best move. I beg to differ because, in my opinion, king e3, the advanced Bongcloud variation, which can go to the super advanced or too advanced Bongcloud variation to the king going to e4, which is actually very difficult because there's a pawn in the way. But, and this is the name of the Fritz trainer in the end, king f3, the discombobulating Bongcloud attack, which gives white a huge potential to win loads of games. First and foremost, it's very, very brave to go to f3, which I like. And then we can also go, and this is what I'm using pretty often, after knight c6, g3, bishop to c5, very often played. We can go to the king g2, the foggy fianchetto. We're pretty safe for a couple of moments, and I like this variation a lot about this. Now, truly, e4, e5, king e2 is most oftenly played, and yeah, I definitely will have a in-depth analysis about the game between Carlsen and Nakamura, where in my opinion, king f3 actually, the discombobulating Bongcloud would have won the game for Carlsen, but I don't blame him. It's very difficult to see the potential of king f3. Now, if we have a variation, the Ruy Lopez, for example, I have a very, very nice counter with the king to b5, pinning the knight on c6, and you thought this wouldn't even be possible, but it is. It is possible. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition surprise is the name of this opening, and it is a surprise move because, yeah, b5 strong for white. Very often played now, meanwhile, is the Bongs Indian with g6, d3, bishop to g7, and once again, you see the pattern already. I'm using king goes to f3 very often. It is just the most, let's say, sound counter to all of black's attempts to find something against the Bongcloud. Obviously, you can play the Bongcloud against any opening there is, and this is why I love this opening so much. You just control the center, you defend your pawn e4 with your king, which is just a huge surprise and a shocker for every opponent. And of course, there are different variations. So if your opponent doesn't play e5, d5, king e2, d takes e4. You think it's a gambit, but of course it's not. The king e3 quickly takes back the pawn on e4, of course. The snooze system, it's a Scandinavian version. Knight f6, Alekhine. Can also be countered very nicely like this. The king goes to d4, has all the space in the center, attacks the black knight immediately. Alekhine's follow the black rabbit attack is the name of this opening. Then we have the how caro can you do this defense. Black should really not take the pawn on e4. That would be a huge mistake. And of course, I will have an own complete section about the Sicilian. And this was actually, I've talked to many grandmasters about this, one of the most feared counters to the Bongcloud attack. And I believe it is started all with the king e2, knight c6, where there is a little bit of a trap. Knight f6, king goes to d3 is the main line here against Sicilian. King goes to c4, g6, and king should not take c5. And this is where most of the grandmasters fell into the trap. Knight takes e4 with a check, king c4, and it looks better for black now. The queen and the rook are forked. So don't worry. You should still keep up the racketeering attack with king to d3. It has a lot of nice moves. I will show all of this in the course. And also the accelerated racketeering attack can be countered with king f3. Once again, I'm going into the discombobulating Bongcloud. Now, this is the main course. We have a handful of games on our Bongcloud servers, which you can look at. Mostly bullet games after all, but I have a very, very large test section which I prepared for you, around 86 hours of material on how to test your Bongcloud skills. And I wanted to show you one example of the Bongcloud, of the double Bongcloud, which I played not long ago against a super grandmaster, an unknown super grandmaster who actually has the potential to become a mega grandmaster, or maybe even a super mega grandmaster, an SMGM in my opinion. Well, yeah, double Bongcloud, obviously it is the most popular variation at this time. And back then I didn't know that king f3 would give me an advantage, so I was staying with the old Puff the Magic Dragon mainline, king to d3. And my opponent had this idea already, king f6, very clever to walk around, trying to disrupt my king side. What he probably forgot about is that my king side is not my king side anymore because I'm on the queen side. So now actually my queen can go onto the king side and the king is on the queen side. So the king side on the queen side can go vice versa. And that was very confusing for my opponent. So yeah, I took the advantage to go to king c4. Look at all the space for the white king. It's beautiful. There's only one square which I cannot go to. And my opponent, my super grandmaster opponent, took the opportunity to go to g5. Very brave, very bold, but of course he has much less space than my white king at the moment. He's close to the edge of the board, which is also not very good. But that's what he played, and I thought like about the next move for probably more than 45 minutes, and that's crazy because it was a blitz game. But I moved to king d5, and I thought like that's winning, because I'm attacking his pawn. I have even more of the center, and his king is cut off. But of course, I didn't see the almost forced king f4. That took me by surprise, unfortunately. If you want to pause the game for a short moment and think about it yourself, what could be played by white as next move? You probably did the same thing as I will tell you now. Of course, I gave a draw because, yeah, I mean, d3 is an idea, but to defend my e4 pawn, but it is a bit too slow. The d4, on the other hand, to attack e5 is very ambitious and a bit too fast. And one of the last ideas was the knight to h3 with a check, but of course that is silly because the knight would be on the edge of the board, and that's not good. We all know that. So obviously the consequence was I offered a draw. My opponent took the draw gladly. Yeah, and then you see, this is why the Bongcloud, the double Bongcloud, is such a dead draw. After a couple of moves, 5, 6, 7 moves, the game ends in a draw very, very often. And I will show you with the discombobulating attack, the Bongcloud attack, how to conquer the dead draws. yeah, that's it. That's all about the course. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching.